Hello, little dreamers. Have you ever wondered where clouds come from? Well, tonight, you're about to discover something truly magical. Welcome to the town of Whimsyville, where every night the sky is painted with the most beautiful clouds you could ever imagine. But the secret to these clouds? It's hidden deep in the heart of the Tonat, the Midnight Cloud Factory. And tonight, one curious boy named Milo is about to uncover its wonders. Milo was just your average curious boy who loved to explore. But there was one thing that made him different from all the other kids in Whimsyville. Milo could hear the clouds. It's true! While everyone else looked up at the fluffy shapes in the sky, Milo could hear them talking. He'd often hear them whispering secrets to the wind, or giggling as they floated across the stars. One evening, as Milo sat by his window, gazing up at the moon, he noticed something strange. The clouds weren't their usual puffy, fluffy selves. They looked bored. They drifted lazily across the sky, as though they didn't have any fun left to give. What's wrong with them? Milo thought. They're just not as exciting as usual. Determined to find out what was going on, Milo decided that tonight, he was going to visit the Midnight Cloud Factoria place he had always heard about in whispers but had never dared to explore. As the clock struck midnight, Milo quietly slipped out of his house. The streets were dark and quiet, with only the sound of crickets filling the air. Following a trail of glowing stars that only appeared at midnight, Milo made his way to the outskirts of town, where the factory stood tall, mysterious, and glowing with soft, colorful lights. The Midnight Cloud Factory was unlike anything Milo had ever seen. It was a giant, cloud-shaped building with spires that reached up to the sky, looking like cotton candy towers. From inside, Milo could hear the sound of whirring, like machines working tirelessly to create magic. "This is it," Milo whispered to himself. "The Cloud Factory." As he crept inside, he couldn't believe his eyes. The whole place was filled with gigantic spinning gears and glowing tubes. There were workers to knee. Floating cloud sprites who were busy weaving clouds like they were fabric, shaping them into all kinds of different fluffy creations. "Excuse me," Milo called out, trying to get the attention of one of the cloud sprites. The sprite, a tiny creature with shimmering wings made of mist, turned around with a surprised look. "Who are you?" the sprite asked, its voice like the tinkling of raindrops. "I'm Milo," he said nervously. "I heard the clouds weren't happy, so I came to see what's wrong. What's happening here?" The cloud sprite sighed. "Oh, dear Milo, the clouds are tired. They've been making the same shapes for years. Circles, hearts, animals over and over again. They've lost their spark. They need something new, something exciting to make them happy again." "But how do we help them?" Milo asked, determined to fix the problem. The sprite smiled. "Well, that's where you come in, Milo. We need a creative mind, someone who can think outside the cloud. You see, the factory has run out of ideas for new cloud shapes. We need someone who can dream up the most spectacular cloud shapes that the sky has ever seen. Will you help us?" Milo's eyes lit up. "Of course! I can do that." With a burst of excitement, Milo jumped into action. The cloud sprites led him to a giant swirling machine that could create clouds. It had levers, buttons, and a big wheel that spun like a carousel. "Now, Milo," the cloud sprite said, "you can think of anything at all. What kind of cloud shape do you want to create?" Milo stood for a moment, his mind racing. Then he smiled. "I know! Let's make a cloud shaped like a giant ice cream sundae with a cherry on top," he said. The cloud sprite gasped. "That's brilliant! Let's make it!" Milo pulled the big lever, and the machine whirred to life. A giant puff of fluffy white clouds swirled inside the factory, shaping itself into a perfect ice cream sundae complete with a cherry on top. As it floated up toward the sky, Milo and the cloud sprites gasped in awe. The sundae cloud was so big and beautiful, it sparkled in the moonlight. "It's perfect!" Milo shouted. "Look at that! The clouds are going to love this!" The cloud sprites clapped their hands and cheered. But then, the sprite leader whispered, Milo, there's just one problem. We can't stop at just one cloud. The factory has been running on empty for so long that we need more new shapes. Milo thought for a moment, and then his face lit up with excitement. I've got it! A cloud shaped like a giant dinosaur, or maybe a dragon, or a spaceship, a cloud spaceship. That's the spirit, the sprite leader said. We need to make the sky the most exciting place ever. Together, Milo and the cloud sprites worked through the night, making clouds of every shape and size. There were giant whales swimming through the sky, flying unicorns, and even a cloud that looked like a floating pizza. The sky was filled with the most magical, whimsical clouds anyone had ever seen. As the first rays of the morning sun began to shine, the clouds floated up into the sky, and the town of Whimsyville awoke to a breathtaking sight. The whole sky was alive with color, filled with new, imaginative shapes that made everyone who saw them laugh and smile. Thank you, Milo, the cloud sprite leader said, her eyes twinkling with joy. You've saved the clouds and the sky is full of magic once again, Milo grinned. No problem. I'll just keep dreaming up more ideas. I bet I can think of a cloud roller coaster next time. And so, thanks to Milo's imagination, the clouds were happier than ever, filling the sky with endless joy and wonder. Whimsyville became the most magical place on Earth, where every day brought new shapes, new dreams, and lots of giggles. And Milo? Well, he just kept dreaming up new adventures for the clouds, and who knows what they'll create next time. Remember, kids, no idea is too big, no dream is too wild. Keep dreaming, keep imagining, and who knows, you might just make your own clouds come to life. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. Be sure to subscribe for more magical stories. Until next time, let your imagination soar.